guys, so I'm here to share my everyday makeup with you guys, my updated sort of makeup routine. There's a ton of Charlotte Tilbury in here, so if you love Charlotte Tilbury, this is a really fun video to show how the products work on someone with my skin tone. So I'm using some of her cult famous products like her airbrush setting powder, her airbrush flawless setting spray, and then I also have thrown in a few of my everyday staples, and I'm just going to show you what I do to achieve this makeup look. And it's just an everyday sort of like mini glam but not so glam sort of makeup. It just looks put together for work or for Zoom meetings, or if you just want to put on a face of makeup and have it be pretty and put together and not too much. I'm going to show you what I exactly do and what products I use to achieve this look. Alright guys, you already know the drill. If you are new here, welcome, and please consider subscribing to my channel. If you are an existing subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on this video to watch another video. Please don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you are notified when I upload videos, and leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to like this video, and we'll go ahead and get right into my everyday makeup. Alright guys, so for every day I like to start with a primer, and the one that I love currently is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. It's just a silicone primer. I use a little bit. The Ordinary is really affordable, and this is just one of their standout products. Right now I am suffering from a breakout, which is so annoying. It's like once you get your skin where you need it and good, it just likes to act up and break out. So I have that on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I absolutely love this stuff. This you can, you know, put on as a primer. You can mix with your makeup. You can put it on alone. You can put it on top of your makeup. It's really however you feel like using it. But what it does is just gives the skin a really nice, like, lit from within glow. It's more like that glass skin. It's not like glittery particles all over your skin or anything. It is definitely one of my favorite products, and I don't do my makeup without it. For that, I just like to take the Real Techniques buffing brush and just buff it into the high points of my skin. And this just comes through the makeup and gives a really beautiful glow. Next up is foundation, and on a daily basis I don't typically wear foundation. I like to just kind of do concealer around the eyes, but if I am going to wear foundation, because of the mask, I like to wear something a little bit more long wearing, something that's not going to just rub off or get creases on it from the mask. So I've been really liking the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I normally wear something much lighter than this. This is full coverage, but if you use a tiny bit, it won't be too much. So I take a pump on the back of my hand, and that's way more than enough. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to pat that on the skin. And I'm using a sponge so that it is not too concentrated and full coverage. I really want to sheer it out because this foundation is very full coverage, but I typically don't like extreme full coverage on my skin, because even when I'm doing a full face of makeup, really glam, I like my skin to look natural and not too covered. I'd rather just use less foundation and then go in with concealer afterward than use a lot of foundation. Next, I like to go in with my concealer, and I use two shades of the Too Faced Born This Way. I use one that's pretty close to my skin tone, and I use one lighter to brighten. I like to use the one that's closer to my skin tone, almost to sort of correct my under eye circles, to use on anywhere on my skin where I have discoloration coming through or darkness, and that's normally right at the edges of my mouth, and most women of color have that. We have a little bit of darkness around the edges of the mouth. I also have broken capillaries on the corner of my mouth, and that's just hereditary. And I have, of course, that blemish and then the dark circles. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pat that in. You can also leave your concealer. Don't blend it right away. You can leave your concealer on the skin, and it will get a little bit thicker and actually give you a lot more coverage. If you leave it for about a minute to dry and then blend it. I know a lot of people like to do that. If I'm going for a very full coverage flawless, I will do that, but because I'm just going for like an everyday look, I really don't need to do that. So that's sort of like covered, and as you can see, it hasn't really brightened my under eye, but that to me has like sort of corrected some of the darkness. Now I'm going to go in with the lighter concealer, and this one is in the color Cookie, and this is what I'm going to use to brighten. That's kind of where I place it, and I'm actually going to let it sit for a little bit, and as that sits and gets a little bit thicker, and it'll give me a little bit more coverage. I mean, this concealer, the Too Faced concealer, is already full coverage, so you don't really need to do that. It's just an extra step that I like to do sometimes. But while it sits, I'm just going to go ahead with my eyebrow pencil, and I'm going to fill in my eyebrows. I've already put in some soap, just some clear soap, and brush my eyebrows up so they kind of have a little bit of a laminated look to them, which I really like. And it's dried now, so I'm going to go ahead and put my eyebrow pencil in, and then I will come back and blend my concealer. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and blend in my concealer now that I have filled in my eyebrows. Alright, so now that the concealer is blended, I'm going to go ahead and put my powder down. Right now, I either use the Beauty Bakery powder, the Flower setting powder, or the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I think today, it just depends on how I feel. They're both really, really good. I'm just going to use the Beauty Bakery powder today. Sometimes I'll use a brush. Sometimes I'll use my beauty blender. Today, I'm just going to go ahead and use my beauty blender and pat that on and go ahead and set that concealer down. I like to dab the powder in a nice thin layer to kind of set, which, you know, you can kind of just leave it like that, but sometimes I will put an extra layer for when I do my eyeshadow, because just in case you get any fall down. And also, this is going to kind of just really give a nice brightness. So I use it on my chin, down my nose, and in the middle of my brows where I put that concealer. And I kind of just leave the powder there to, you know, bake. Now I'm going to quickly just do my eyes, and I'm not a big fan of like a ton of eyeshadow. So I'm just going to put a little bit of concealer on my lids. And I'm just going to blend that in with a airbrush detail brush from Sephora. Just want to kind of even out my lid. And if I am going to be wearing eyeshadow, it's normally the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Instant palette. This really beautiful palette here. And I'll use that, but today I really don't want to do much, and I have to be honest, on a daily basis I don't really do much to my eyes but put a little bit of bronzer in my crease. So that's what I'm going to do, is just take my bronzer with a fluffy brush and just go ahead and put that onto my eyelid, just for a little something. I like to also put the bronzer in to the front of my brow, because I'm gonna use this to also contour the nose. I'm gonna use a black eyeliner and just smudge this into my lash line, and this is just the Estee Lauder Double Wear Waterproof Eyeliner. And I'm just gonna go ahead and roughly sketch into my lashes, my lash line. And I like to do thinner on the outer corner. thicker on the outer corner. And I'm just going to take a brush and smudge that. So then you get something a little more like that. I'm just going to do the same to the other eye. I'm going to go ahead and pop on some mascara, and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes, one of my recent favorites. This is just, it just gives a really nice defined look and lengthens really well. And the lashes that I've been loving to use lately are the Kiss Jubilee lashes. They're a lot more dramatic than I'm used to. Sometimes I'll just put on individuals, but I've really been liking dramatic lashes. And actually I'm just going to use a half of the lash and put that on just so it's a little bit more natural. And also I had cut off the front half to use on my best friend as little corner lashes, so I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use the rest of that lash that I didn't use on her on myself today, and I'm just going to apply that and just give myself a little bit of extra volume. So while I'm waiting for the lash glue to dry, I'm just going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I love this stuff. This is what I use to kind of give me like a liquid contour slash bronze. I use this whether I'm wearing a full face of makeup. If I'm just putting on concealer, I'll put this on too. This is a step that I always do in my makeup. I don't always put it on my cheeks, but I will put it always on my forehead to give me a little bit of color. But it's just a really nice contour, and it's water-based, so it's just easy to use. It blends really nicely, and it just gives a really sort of natural look. Okay, I'm going to take off my scarf so that I can apply it to my forehead. So what I do for my forehead is I literally, look, just put dots along my hairline, and I just go ahead and I blend it with that same Real Techniques buffing brush. And you see how it just gives you the most natural sort of like contour and bronze, and because it's not a powder, it just looks so pretty, like a natural tan. And I will layer powder on it when I want to. Sometimes I'll just leave it like this. Especially on days where I'm not wearing makeup, it just has like this sheen to it. So again, it just looks like skin, which I really, really love. Alright, so those are on, and I had a little bit of fiasco. This one went, so it was stuck to my sweater and I could not find it. Yeah. So those are on, and that's pretty much the eye look. So those are on, and I'm going to take a little bit of that powder, and I'm going to go ahead and put it underneath my cheekbone. So I like just to carve out those cheekbones. I'm gonna take a blush brush and just use the bronzer, my powder bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury, the airbrush bronzer, and I'm gonna use this on my forehead and over the contour on my cheek, right above my cheekbones. And whatever's left on the brush I'll take under my jawline. Alright, so now I'm going to take my Sephora, what is this? The name's rubbed off, but it's one of their airbrush powder brushes, and I love this brush. I'm gonna go ahead and just dust off the excess powder. Then I'll take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in shade 3 Tan. I'm going to go ahead and brush that over the skin to finish my skin and give me more of an airbrushed look. For blush, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Intense Blush. Love this stuff. Just gives a really pretty flush. I'm going to put on some bottom mascara. And I guess I'll put some highlight on. I'm not a massive fan of highlight anymore. I really like matte look, like matte eyeshadow, matte everything. But I do like my skin to have a little bit of a glow, but nothing too much. So I'm going to use that same Hollow Flawless filter. I'm going to show you how I use it on top of the makeup. You have to be careful with it because it is wet, but it is really beautiful on top of makeup as well. Just be careful with it that it doesn't move your makeup, but I just pat it in with my beauty blender and it just brings life back to the makeup. I'm gonna take my Foxy Brown lip liner. You guys know this is my holy grail lip liner. I should buy stock in these lip liners because I feel like I eat them. That's how fast I go through them, so I always have backups on hand. This is a lip liner that I use with everything from a red lipstick to a berry to a nude. It's just my staple brown lip liner, and I love it because Charlotte Tilbury lip liners are waterproof. It's not going to be going anywhere. It's perfect. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium, which is my everyday lipstick. This is my everyday color. The perfect pinky brown lipstick. I take my Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is amazing. You've probably heard about it 1,000 times from so many different people. This basically makes your makeup mask proof. Take my little fan from Amazon. Go ahead and dry my setting spray a little faster. To take my eyelash curler and go ahead and curl my lashes together with the false lash, and it just also gives a nice lift. Alright guys, so that's my everyday makeup. It's super simple, no eyeshadow, just a little bit of bronzer, smudged eyeliner, some lashes, and really I focus on skin. So I focus on like my concealer and powders and stuff like that. You can see that my skin has a nice glow to it from the Hollow Flawless filter that I used as my highlight. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at my everyday sort of makeup. It's super simple, and once you get it down, it takes about 10-15 minutes and you look super put together. And yeah, so if you still have to go to work or even Zoom meetings and stuff like that, this is a way to kind of really look put together and a little bit glam at the same time if you really enjoy makeup. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is sort of my everyday look. I love a nice simple makeup, but I still like to look glam at the same time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.